That's badass.
Dude, is probably the most important thing I have with me. This is the Supernote A5X. If anybody out there has planning or anything, meetings, whatever it is, this is the tool you need. Easy to use, compact, beautiful, and it has changed my life.
It visually looks pretty cool too.
Yeah, man. Well, you know, I'm big on like journals and notes and paper.
Yeah.
And then I realized like that just kept accumulating.
I've been all types of meetings. I've never seen one of those.
So this pulls in everything. And it's super professional looking. Like you bring it into a meeting, people are like, oh, dude.
This guy's legit.
I thought I heard you back there when I was in the gym with my client. I was like, I heard diesel truck, and I was like, yeah,
That's genius, buddy.
It's kind of, for some reason, I expected you to be in a diesel truck.
Dude, I saw I saw your truck, and I was like, that's a diesel, bro.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Yeah, I love it, dude.
Let me tell you about mine. I got a big old mega cab, lifted 6.7 Cummins, and I think I financed it for 84. 2 months after I financed it, I put a $25,000 motor in it, had it built because my first one blew. Then after I had that motor, the new motor in, my tranny blew, so I had to get a built transmission in Lebanon. And so yeah, I'm like over 100 grand in this truck, and I could probably get 40 out of it.
Hey, you know, at least you enjoy it. Dude, that's the thing. It's like, I love my truck.
Yeah, I love it. You ever pull with it?
I pulled a forklift out of some mud pretty easily. That was pretty cool. Dang. I was like, damn, okay. I was out there volunteering. But then, yeah, I pulled some trailers like with supplies going out there, but that's about it. Trust me, the first time was a lesson because like I got to a parking lot one time and I couldn't figure out that I'll figure anything out. I just haven't pulled a trailer before. So I was like, it took me a while. And I was like, no, guys. My friend was like, I got you. I was like, you will not do this for me. I was like, I'll figure it out. So we were there for like 15 minutes.
Smart.
I'm going to master this because like I can't be looking like a damn fool in front of people.
Deal, bro.
Ready to roll?
Yes, sir.
Not brought to you by Ghost, but should be. Grape, the best one in the world.
Mouthgasm.
Yep. Dude, it's good, isn't it? So good. What is up, everybody? This is Joe Adams, and welcome to the Relentless Pursuit podcast. What we do on this podcast is bringing guests from all different backgrounds, all different walks of life to share their journey and everything along the way that led them to where they're at today. We're here to make an impact, and that is what we do. So if that is for you, like, subscribe, all those wonderful things. And if that is not for you, I don't know what your problem is, but you need to jump on board today. Thank you. But without further ado, I would love to introduce today's guest, Mr. Adam Sanderson.
Hey, good morning, sir. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, man. Adam, it's an honor having you here.
Thank you. Honored being here.
Dude, I'm stoked, man. You know, guys, we've probably been talking for a good hour prior to this. And it's crazy because sometimes I'm like, damn it, that should have been recording. But it's cool when it's like that too, though, because we build up like an organic dialogue before we even get the cameras rolling.
You gotta get warmed up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a warm up. Yeah, it's cool. So naturally we hit it off like that, bro. Yeah. And it's pretty cool. So thank you for that. And real quick, guys. So Adam is connected to me through one of our first guests on here. I think like the third episode. Oh, by the way, like my second episode was Steve.
How do you know Steve?
Okay, well, guys, check out the episode with Steve. I'll tell you what it is, what episode it is, in the details.
It was wild back in the day.
So,
wild, buddy.
I had my accident, right? And so moving forward about a year later, I had started the brand and stuff. And then I saw a post somebody shared from Steve, and he was crying, and he was just emotional. And he's like, don't feel bad for me, you know, talking about his leg getting amputated from a motorcycle wreck. But he's like, nobody feel bad for me. This was meant to be. And then, dude, I like immediately started tearing up. And I was like, I know that feeling. And it just hit me on a deep level. I was like, shit, I got to reach out to this guy. And I was like, dude, you don't really know me, but I'm from your area where you're from. And I listened to what you said, bro. And like, this is my experience. And that was meant to be for me as well. And I just like extend my heart out to you, and I support you, dude. Like, you got this. Proud of you. That mindset is a very powerful tool. And, you know, I'd love to connect further down the road, but just shoot me your address. I'm going to send you some free shirts and apparel because you embody what Relentless Pursuit stands for. Yeah. And I send him the stuff. And next thing you know, dude, we got super tight, man. He helped me set this place up a little bit, like the studio. He put all that stuff up on the wall, and he's become a really good friend. I mean, that trip, that accident was his last time using meth. you know, he talks about that. And then he lost his leg and now he's just doing really cool shit, man. It's been really cool to watch his journey. Mm-hmm. And like, I get so inspired by him, you know what I'm saying? So he and I, we haven't talked in a little bit, but we've got a really good connection, man. I freaking love Steve.
Small world.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's a powerful story. I mean, you know, he will admit he wasn't the best, but you know, that was the key. That unlocked his potential, man.
It was just wild walking into your building and seeing a picture of him. I was like, I used to go to that kid's house when I was in middle school.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny, man. Like you know, and he lives like in Colorado now, you know, so it's just crazy how it connects. Now he's like amputee, hiking mountains in Peru and stuff.
Yeah, he's a badass.
Yeah, he's crushing it, man. Go, Steve, keep freaking doing it, bro. I need you back. But that said, yeah, so, but Will, right after him, is also how we know each other. And Will, you know, had a nutrition store and stuff. I got to know him through there. And he had brought you up at one point a while back. And then I kind of lost contact with him. And I was like, hey, Will, you know, if you don't mind, could I get your buddy's info? And love to have him on the podcast. And then here we are, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was on a dang roof when he told me about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was this summer, actually. He's like, hey, you know, some Joe called, and he's like, he wants to do a podcast. And we're doing an inspection on a roof out in Laverne, I think.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I was like, oh, awesome, man.
Dude, Will's really cool, man. He was like, up when I had my first like opening, he came and set up. He's always been very supportive. And he's grinding away. I think he worked for you a little bit. Or
crazy story. I met Will about 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. And this is right as soon as I got in the military. When I got out of the military, I've been through a lot. And I had no friends when I came back, you know, and didn't really know anybody. I had my family here. But one thing I was wanting really bad was I was like, man, I want to get big. You know, I want to go to the gym, get big. And my mom, at the time, worked with a guy named Tom Stark. And he was Mr. Tennessee back-to-back in 98, 99.
Yeah.
And she said, hey, you know, he can, you know, I can let you introduce him to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, 100%. So, you know, he's a warehouse manager. And this is the first time I actually seen a legit bodybuilder.
Yeah.
That dude's like 6'4", 300 pounds. I'm like, you know, he shook my hand. I'm like, this guy's massive, you know? And then he's like, well, you need to train with Dwayne Hampton.
I know Dwayne.
Yeah, and Dwayne's one of my best friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's my homie. He's my G. I'm hanging out with him this week, actually.
Nice.
Dwayne taught me everything. That dude, he's a mentor of mine, actually.
Really? He trained my sister for a show years ago.
Man, he is, you know, he's trained a couple of Mr. Tennessees.
Yeah.
Very, very, I have a lot of success stories with him, with women. He's great at training women. That's his, you know, bread and butter, man. He's awesome with the bikini section.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love Dwayne. That's how I met Will. Will was like 140 pounds at the time. He was just, you know, right out of high school.
Will done bulked up, man.
Oh, man. So it was funny. It's funny seeing Will grow from, you know, 130 pounds to what he is now.
Yeah.
I've witnessed all that. I love watching people grow.
Oh, dude.
That's how I met Will, through Dwayne, and we just hit it off as soon as, you know, I saw him at the gym working out, and I was like, we just hit it off the day. He was like, hey, what's up, bro?
Yeah, dude, Will's really easy just to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And, you know, it's funny, and I love how you brought up the fitness part. You're watching people grow. And, dude, at the end of the day, like fitness, especially like building muscle or whatever, like that applies to anything in life, you know, because It's something you don't see immediately. Sorry, I'll unravel this for you. There you go. It's a little bit more freedom. Something you don't see immediately. It takes time. It takes effort. It, you know, can hurt at times. You get injured. You get setbacks. But it's just like anything else in life. In order to get to where you want to get, and to it is a lot of times you're never satisfied. You know, you're like, no, now I need to get more shredded, right? But I think it applies to everything, man. So it's like I always feel like fitness is the foundation of like wherever you go.
I feel like you're 100% right on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clarity from my brain. It's if I didn't have working out, fitness, you know, I'd probably be a druggie, man.
Dude.
Something bad.
Bro, like seriously, man. I mean, I went through addiction before I went in the military, and you know, but I got so hooked on fitness after I got in, and it just like it's been a part of my life. Now I'm like addicted to burpees. Yeah, no, that's like my crazy thing. Bro. Yeah, like I'm at 66,000 right now.
I watched.
Yeah, I'm going for 1 million.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's like my long-term goal. So I'm at 66.5. So I try to go for like 1,000 a week. We'll get into
That's
that.
awesome, man.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's just some crazy
That's
shit
one thing
that
I
I
did not like
decided to
doing.
start doing. So
Burpees is no bueno, bro.
Yeah, dude.
They're awesome, but guys,
yeah, dude. I mean,
Hard.
one thing I figured out, like this far in, they still suck.
yeah.
So, but yeah, man. So Will's great. I'm grateful for the connection, man. Like I said, we hit it off. So I'm really stoked to see like, the relationship we build over time as well.
Absolutely.
And support each other. So,
But Will, he's grown up with me. I mean, he's basically my mom and dad's son too.
Oh, really?
I mean, he pretty much lived with us for 5-6 years.
Yeah.
He came on every day, every night. And but we had he's basically my brother. We've been together for a while, and it's been interesting watching him grow with me. He did work with me for a while. He was really not interested in the roofing world. So he wanted me to do something different. So,
he didn't like heights either. He told me he wasn't a big fan.
He didn't like heights, so I didn't care. So.
You're on a roof. Yeah, it's
Love
high.
me, bro. So and now he's working with Drew at Lake and Land Detailing down there in Mount Juliet.
That makes this right up his alley
He loves it.
because he's a car guy.
Yep.
He loves his cars.
That's me too, man. I love cars.
That said, man, so that's how we got connected. Now let's just briefly, just tell us what it is you do right now, like your life today.
Yes, sir.
What that looks like, real short, and then we're going to take it back and we'll work our way back.
Currently, I'm a new father.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I own a roofing business out in Brentwood, Tennessee.
Nice.
And I'm an active gym goer, and I'm a very, very happy husband.
Nice, man. Hell yeah. Now, your wife, I talked to her briefly because it was funny when we were talking and she gets on the phone. She's like, all right, Joe. She's hands on. And I appreciate that, man. It's probably really nice for you, running the business like she does. I mean, she essentially runs it too in her way.
Bro, I'm not the brightest crown in the box, so if I didn't have her, I wouldn't know I would be living under a bridge right now.
You're like, I'll build your roof. Building roofs. Just somebody help me. That's funny, man. Well, she sounds amazing. She sounded really cool. She was really friendly. And dude, how old is your kid?
He's 9 months.
9 months. What's his name?
Finn.
What do you think? What's it like, man? What's fatherhood like for you?
I still don't seem real.
That'll keep happening.
It's still hitting me. It's like every 2 weeks his face changes, something's changing about him, and I'm just like, in my mind, I'm learning to, in my heart, I'm learning to appreciate every second I can get with them at that age. I've had so many mentors, so many fathers and good gentlemen tell me that, hey, every second, man, he said, yeah, there can be a headache, but he said every second enjoy it because you're going to miss it.
Dude.
And it goes by like that.
Bro, I'll tell you what, even my daughter's like, she hates having her diaper changed. Like she sees a diaper, she runs for the hills. And I'm like, yo, get over here. And I'm like, you can't be having no shitty butt.
No.
And
that booty get red.
Exactly. I snatch her up and like, she's like fighting me. And I'm just like joking with her. I'm like, I don't know. For me, it's still fun. Like one, I'm helping her from having a nasty butt. But two, it's just like, man, I've got to enjoy every little level. Even when there's days she's a toddler now. She'll be 2 years in April. So she gets crazy, man. She's very hard-headed. She likes to test you. But I love it because she's becoming herself. You know what I'm saying?
When did you think in your life that you love something so much that if they threw up on you 3 times in one night and you change your diapers every time they threw up in their clothes and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, then you have to be at work in 4 hours, that you love them so much that you don't care?
Dude, it's like if I see throw up from my own throw up, I want to puke.
Yeah.
If I see someone else's, but my daughter's like, dude, whatever.
That's your baby.
Yeah, it's my baby, man. It's mine and my wife's soul tied together. It's like our souls created this.
And that's a representation of you.
Oh, dude, I'll never forget, man, holding her for the first time. I just like melted. I went into tears. There's nothing like it, man. Fatherhood's the best. It's such a blessing.
It is.
And,
it changed me for the good.
Oh, dude. It fired me up even more. Like I've been fired up. But then when I found out she was pregnant, I was like, oh, that purpose thing, man. And then you analyze your life, and like we talked about the season I'm in, right?
Yeah.
Like we're right now, this is the most important season because she's here for it. Like she gets to see the drive and what it takes. Like I can't quit because what did I teach her, right? There's so many lessons that I'm learning myself that she's also learning from me.
That's awesome way to look at it. It is. And then do you ever think about how was she now?
She's after I got to a year and a half, I stopped doing the whole month thing. So it should be 2 years in April.
That makes sense. So how do you feel right now at 2 years as a father growing? Like you're growing with her every month, every day, every week. Can you see the relationship? How does the relationship feel as she gets older and more mature?
Oh my God. Over time, they become more affectionate and stuff like that. So she like I'll get home and she'll run up to me.
Yeah.
And she'll, Daddy.
What's better than that?
And then I pick her up and she like grabs my face and she's just like, and then she grabs my head and she like pats the back of my head. And I'm like, oh my God.
Tell me one thing better than that in the world.
Bro.
Nothing better than that.
It's such a powerful feeling, man. And I love it so much. And I never wanted to go away. And the reality is one day that's not going to be the case. So I'm here to embrace it. I work a lot of hours, but I go in early, but I'm very intentional about my time with my family.
I would hate to be the guy dating her when she's in high school. I would not want to meet you. Be nice.
That's what I'm going for. Yeah. No, but at the end of the day, like I'm not really stressing that because like I put so much intention towards like her and my wife and my love towards them and like the actions I take and how I treat them that like, people are like, oh, I'm raising a girl in this world. I'm like, dude, she's going to have a high standard, man.
Good.
Like she's going to see the actions I do every day.
Do you ever think about how your father, your mom raised you and then how you apply it to her and how you acted as a kid and how you apply that and how you felt about things when you were little and you did something wrong or bad and how they reacted?
Yeah.
I think about that all the time.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it all plays a part, right? The last podcast I did, the guy talked about, he's in his 60s. He's got a family. He's had a pretty tough go in life. But he's very grateful for his children. And he said, dude, it's the toolbox. And he said he used to do some practice with kids at the school. He like would do this whole thing in front of a crowd and he'd give them different tools and put them in front of different things. And like, you had one kid with a random tool in front of a nail. And he was like, what the hell do I do with it? And he moved them around and they were able to use the tool as needed. Long story short, it's all about having the right tools. And so it's like our parents passed us on tools. They gave us a toolbox. Okay, this is a really good tool. Let's hold on to this. Okay, this needs to be upgraded. Okay, this I don't need to do with that. I'm going to replace that with my own tool. And you pass that along, right? So I think, does that make sense? So everything that you learn from your parents are just, it's a set of tools that you got.
One thing I want to bring to the table is, I'm 36 now. And when I was 20, 25, between the age, 30, no matter how old you are, but if you're older than me, I've always been raised, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. I mean, I get whooped.
100%.
I get whooped as a kid if I didn't say yes, sir, no, sir. My dad caught me saying that.
Yeah.
He'd get mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
He was very strict about it. And that's one thing I've noticed today I don't see a lot. It's weird when example, I'll go to the gym and there's a 16-year-old kid there talking and he's like, hey, man, how you doing, Adam? But I have a weird feeling when I'm like approached by younger people and they don't serve me or no serve me.
Yeah.
But I always give it back. I always say, I look at that stuff when I'm with people.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know why I do. Yeah. I don't know. That's just the way I was raised. Dude,
I'm right there with you. Like that's huge. I'm big on those details though. Those things are so important. Or like even getting the door for people. Like I get the door for my wife and people in general. If I'm in a building, like I think that's very important. It's like those little details, man. That's the shit my daughter's going to have as expectations when she's older and she's got a boyfriend. She's like, why don't you get the door for people? Like I want her to ask a guy if he doesn't that because he's going to be like, what? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. I want that to be the standard. But yeah, dude, I think those old school ways
I don't
are very
think that's
important.
a thing no more.
Oh, no.
I don't believe it is. That's another thing, man. Common sense is not a thing no more.
No, it's not.
That's one thing in life right now that really, probably my top 3 things that really is very big in my heart and soul and the way I think is common sense, man. It's, one thing I got taught in boot camp was I had a drill Staff Sergeant Sanchez, and he always said, little common sense goes a long way.
100%.
And I took that to heart when I first heard that, and I've applied that to my life every day since then. And it's amazing to me how book smart you can be, but there's no common sense I see every day.
We'll get to the education thing.
Man, it's crazy, man.
I know you want to talk about that. What I want to, for a little bit though, we'll get back to the segment and talk about it a little bit more. I want to go back to early days of Adam.
Yes, sir.
Adam, where do you hail from? Where were you birthed? And just take us through a little bit of your childhood,
yes, sir.
Maybe some influences there in your life, and and things maybe you can reflect on that, like, impact you today, and then we'll work our way, into the military, and then go on with it all.
Yes, sir. I mean, I was born here in Mount Juliet, Tennessee.
Nice.
I'm a native. That's becoming a unicorn now.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
I'm born there, and then I went to W.A. Wright Elementary School. Miss Bender was the principal, and then I went to Mount Juliet High School. Graduated there. And then went to the military, just
Yeah.
a pretty normal life. I know I got in a little trouble as a little, I got a little drugs, brother around the bad people. And that's why I went in the military.
Yeah, dude.
I was hanging with the wrong crowd, man.
Were you close to your parents? Like I was.
No.
No.
I mean, my mom and dad raised me good.
Yeah.
They were hard and strict. My dad was really strict on me. I mean,
You think that's why maybe you did get into some trouble?
100%. That's one thing I look at now too, is like, how am I going to approach my son with alcohol or with drugs? Because he's going to do it when he gets in high school or so I think about that kind of stuff all the time. But I was, I had, pretty good childhood, but very, very, very strict.
Yeah.
When I was raised. Yeah. Definitely, there's some things I didn't like about it, but there's some good things that came from it. One, which was my grind and my drive, and that's one good aspect of discipline I've learned that does help an individual. I think is discipline like that.
Yeah, first.
It's weird,
hell yeah,
but it does.
Yeah, man. I think it's important to reflect on that though, because at the end of the day, from what you said, you're able to take it all as positive, right? Because at the end of the day, there's things you didn't like, but that's okay, because as a father, you're able to like do things differently for your kid.
Yes, sir.
And that's a beautiful lesson there. Mm-hmm. And then the discipline and drive, that's obviously helped you build a successful business that you keep rolling forward with, but that's also going to be something that you pass on. It's like legacy stuff. So I think that's great, man. I mean, it's good I guess it's good to be able to reflect on your journey. And I always talk about this and look at everything as either necessary or good or necessary, right? Like, whatever your circumstances were as in childhood, like those are necessary steps for you to be who you are today and apply that to your life now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can always find gratitude in everything. As hard as it is sometimes. I think that's the true gratitude, is finding gratitude in even the darkest parts of your life.
100%. What branch did you go in?
I was Air Force.
My brother was Air Force.
Yeah, what do you do?
He's in aerospace physiology, something. He's a really smart guy.
Oh, nice.
And he controlled the centrifugal pilots.
Okay, cool.
And he trained them how to hold their composure under certain G's and air chambers and stuff like that.
That's pretty tight, actually. So I was flight line. So I worked on 22s. I was a weapons loader.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time,
That's a blast of a time.
Yeah, it was great, man. I had a good stint there, man, and I don't know, but I got out and took off on a whole new journey, man. What about you? Tell us about you and your military time.
Yeah, I wasn't smart to get in the Air Force. Obviously, I went to try to get in there first. I didn't pass the ASVAB, and I was like, dude, well, fuck the studying, man. I don't want to study. I didn't like studying. I graduated high school with a 1.6 GPA.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, not that I didn't care. I just didn't. It wasn't me, man. School wasn't me. I didn't like school. But I when I joined the military, I went to South Carolina. Parris Island,
Oh, nice.
Did some push-ups with the red fire ants out there.
Wait, so you said Marines or Army?
Marines.
Okay, nice.
I was a window licker, crown eater.
Nice. Yeah, I mean that's what they say.
A broken crown still colors, bro.
That's funny. Were you infantry? You said?
Oh no, I was a Motor T diesel mechanic, and I got voluntoed to get deployed with a operations unit. So my whole job was I rode in a security truck behind the navigation truck. So I was the second truck in convoys. We traveled the whole country, from top to bottom to the China coastline. We did the whole country, and the whole job was if a truck broke down in the middle of the desert, I had to have it up and running, in 5 minutes or under. That was my directives from my lieutenant. So I remember my first time, we picked up some, I can watch my language, what I say in here. We picked up some fellow neighbors.
You say whatever you want, yeah.
Yeah, and they were natives of the land, and they needed security for transporting something to a little town. And so, our convoy was the one providing security for them. And I remember the first time my heart was beating fast because on the radio I heard, one of their trucks went down and it wasn't running. I was like, fuck, here I go. I know they're gonna call my name. Yeah. So they're like, Sanderson, where's Sanderson at? And they knew where I was, so they called the security Vic.
You got your wrench.
Man, and the bad thing about the security Vic was you were not supposed to go outside the lines. You had lines that you follow to different entries of destinations. Like, there's been so many people drive across the country that you have trails. And people look at the trails, like these natives look at the trails, so you have to change the trails up and everything because of IEDs. They keep track of where different units are going. It's crazy. Every time we left the fob, we get shot at. Every day you leave the fob, you get shot at. by a biker gang. They were on a bunch of mopeds or dirt bikes, and they'd have pistols and they shoot at us. And you couldn't shoot at them back. That was one thing that was crazy in my experience. While I was there.
Where was this at?
That was in Afghanistan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen C-132s. They're called Hell's Angels. You don't see them. That's why they're called Hell's Angels. This rain down this crazy ammunition on buildings. This bullet. It's crazy what one plane can do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When you actually experience this stuff and see it in real life, it's not like the movies. And it's a lot scarier.
Oh, it's like working on F-22s. Like it doesn't have a huge payload, but it's got 2 bombs on it. And guess what? It'll be there and back before you know it. And you got to put more bombs on that same jet. Like how quick it does it too.
Yeah, and the
technology is insane.
It's insane. That's F-22 Raptors, bro. That's another level of craziness to me.
Yeah.
When I went to Paris Island. Did my 3 months of got through Hell Week and all that. That was fun. And then they stationed me to North Carolina. I got married when I was 20.
Yeah.
I was that dude. The first week in the fleet, my master sergeant told all the new guys, "Are you getting married this week? Raise your hand," because the first week I got into the fleet, it happened to be a 72.
Yeah.
A weekend, so you get 3 days off, and he was like, "Hey, if you're coming back married, raise your hand now." I didn't raise my hand, so obviously I came back married, like he said not to do. So that, and I was a day late too, coming back. So it was not, I got my ass chewed out.
So you got married. Is that your current wife, or was this like a?
That's my first wife.
Oh, okay.
I've been married twice, and my current wife is my second wife.
It happens a lot in the military, man.
And they tell you it's going to happen, and you still do it anyways.
Yeah, I almost did it, and I called a wedding off. That was my first wedding I called off.
I'm like, I don't want to live in the fucking barracks, And that's one thing I was very just about the Air Force is they get to live in the barracks on their first year. My brother, after his first year, they gave him money to go live in somewhere outside the base. I'm like, bro, you have to stay in the barracks in the Marine Corps until you're a sergeant, or if you're married, you can live outside.
Ours is till you're senior airman or married.
Really?
Yeah. They must have changed it because I was in but I had my own room. Like even
they give you nice barracks.
Yeah, I had like a couch in there. And
man, yeah, that's why when everyone asked me
bathroom,
if I could join the Air Force, I would have joined the Air Force 100%.
Yeah,
because you see a bunch of cool stuff too.
I know people give me shit about it. Just joke. They're joking.
Man,
there's always the jokes that come along with the Air Force. And they say Chair Force. I was like, dude, I was flight line, man. We worked a lot.
Never heard that.
Yeah, but it's just so funny because people say that, but they're like, if I would have joined, I wish I would have joined the Air Force, or whatever. Like if I could go back, but hey man, you did your thing, dude.
Did my thing, man. But yeah, I remember stationed in North Carolina, Camp Lejeune.
Okay,
that's the proper way to call it. Everybody calls it
really?
Lejeune. I always call it Lejeune. I still call it Lejeune. But it was, I guess it irritated some people on the base. Were like, it's Lejeune.
You get like a higher up. It's like, yeah. Right, me.
I got nothing else better to do.
Oh God,
make a lot of money and tell you what to do.
Those guys killed me.
Yeah. So and that getting into the fleet, I'm sure you remember your first year getting into the fleet. It was definitely it was a life changer, man. It was definitely experiencing the type of people that were around you from different walks of life.
Yeah,
it was nuts. It's nuts. Think about it. Like it was even we were taking a shower with a bunch of dudes the first time doing that.
Yeah, dude.
Because you're coming from the civilian world to, and this a bunch of things you have to acclimate to.
Yeah, me and this one dude, like we're all drying off. Like it was, we were showering, and like I was drying off, and like I bent over, and I felt like another butt cheek touch my butt cheek. But it was like right when the contact happened, it was like slow motion. Dude, I mean, they could it was like a frozen in time, man. But it's like we both been over at the same time to dry off, and our butts just was like, and we just popped up, and we like looked at each other,
no homo,
and we just kind of stared for a second, and then we just kept doing our thing. It was like this unspoken that wasn't comfortable, but it's okay.
Dude. That's hilarious. But yeah, I get so my first year of fleet, obviously I learned my MOS. I got mandatory promoted to corporal my second year there, and then I got to sergeant in 3.5 years. Usually, nice. Normal was like 7-8 years in the Marine Corps. Yeah. I was a go-getter, bro.
Yeah,
go-getter. I was a hard worker.
Had that drive.
Yeah, man. I was like, I want to do something while I'm in here. I'm not going to be lazy.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of shit bags in the military as well, so I saw that part of it, and that's the reason I didn't want to. I wanted to do good, man. And so I remember my first deployment. I was volunteered to go to Afghanistan, and we were stationed in Camp Leatherneck, and then we would just travel the whole country. I think That was definitely a different experience. That was a horrific experience for me, Joe, because one, I've been hit a couple times with IEDs, and then at the same time, when I was in Wounded Warrior, to find out my wife is cheating on me, spent all my money. I was a big car guru. I had a Chrysler 300 SRT8 at the time, like a 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
Loved that car. I love big muscle cars, man.
Yeah.
Big body, big motor. I was like, hell yeah, man. And, and that was my first like car I bought myself.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, when I was deployed, she traded in for another vehicle, and this one, and this is bad experience, and this, the tribulations I've been through, and this is something I should have been through. I'm like, how did I get through this, and
unfortunately, it's a very common. There's great marriages in the military for sure, but like, I mean, dude, I've had it. Honestly, I think every guest I've had on here is a veteran has something similar they went through. Like they went through some bad marriage stuff, and I'm like, shit, man. That's why, like, Seth's wife has not probably, she does, to work with military spouses, because like, yeah, they don't work on that shit with you. Mm-hmm. They're just like, they care that you do your job.
Yep.
Whatever happens at home. But then you think about it, and you got like all these suicides, and how do you prevent that?
So yeah, that's
not pep talks. No, dude, typically those things stem from the home.
Yeah, man, that's a touchy subject for me right there.
Yeah. So
I don't like. I mean, if we could move on with that.
Oh yeah.
I've had a couple of people kill themselves after we got back. So
yeah, man.
The first week we got back, Hoy, one of my guys in my platoon, he hung himself. He was only 21 years old, man. So I mean, that stuff's like really. Makes you tear up a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah, no, dude, it's okay, man. It's understandable, because so many men I know have shared that.
That's actual thing, man. It's a legit thing.
It is, man.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is, to move forward from that.
It's rough.
Let's focus on what the home life for people.
Yeah, I've had some I've had mental issues too with that.
I'm gonna get you connected with Seth, because they got a thing called Heal the Heroes that I think you would really appreciate.
It's rough, man.
Yeah, and you might know some people that could get involved with it. Like that's what they focus on, is healing the heroes. It's a pretty powerful movement.
Yes, sir.
So we'll talk about that afterward. I'd love to get y'all connected, man. And it is rough, man. And I think but thank you for kind of like sharing that emotion with it too, because like it's real.
It's real.
And like the fact of the matter is, there needs to be something done about it. And, we can do so many pep talks for people and so on and so forth, but like we actually have to work on changing their lives, man.
I had one guy right now. His name was Chris. He was one of my good friends in the Marines. He was a grunt, and he lived with me. And it's a video on YouTube of him singing A Whole New World. Mm-hmm. Got millions of views, actually. He was just really, really, just a, kind of guy that when he walks into the area, he's the life of the party.
Yeah.
He's a Golden Glove boxer in the
Yeah.
Marine Corps. He's a boxer while he was served.
Nice.
A very, very talented kid. And it was, rough on me when I found out. I've been talking to him after we both got out, and he had 2 girls and a wife, and I missed his funeral too. I should have went to his funeral, but he, his mom, his wife, and his kids walked in on him with his brains blown out in the living room, and it was over financials.
Dude, I tell you what, I can't relate to where he went, but financials will put you in a hard fucking place mentally.
Yeah,
especially when you got a family.
Yeah,
dude, because I've been like in some really hard spots in my mind, so like I feel for that. That's heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, I remember when I got out, man. The first 2 years, it was like every month someone was killing themselves.
Yeah,
and it was consistent. It wasn't just like once a year thing. It was consistent, and it really fucked me up, man.
Yeah, I think it's hard because like when you're in, regardless of what it is you do, you typically, it's like at the end of the day, you from a young age you're taught to do this, go on the mission, right? And so you have like a purpose there. And then a lot of people, I think maybe they get out and they want that purpose. Like everybody gets out because they kind of want this freedom. For me, I was like, I just want a freedom. I want to find my own path.
Same.
This was necessary. I'm glad I did this, but I want to create my own future, right? I just don't want to do this for the rest of my life. And I think a lot of guys get out and they're like, it's not what they expected, or they don't know. And they're just like, shit, I don't know which direction to go. And then slowly that purpose part, like they don't have direction, man. They don't have anybody there to help them figure out what it is to move them forward in life.
Yeah, 4 years. You when you're there, you start, for your first 4 years. I mean, you got 4 years of you go about years, 4 years for every contract. But you got to think, man, the whole time you're there, it's everyday camaraderie.
Yeah.
Negative or positive is some kind of camaraderie.
Yeah, you're in the shit together.
And then when you're out, you get back to life. I mean, when I first got back, I got mad at watching a lady get mad, bitch about a fucking coupon at Kroger for $1 off, man. I'm like, what the fuck are you even mad about? This made me so mad, man. Like, get out of here, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Just don't appreciate shit, man. We're so privileged here, and we don't realize how good we got it.
And to touch on that, I had this doctor on here from India, man, and he's like got a book out. It's all about sleep. And I was talking about that subject, and I brought it up like how you did. I'm like, it frustrates you, right? But he was like, that's not anyone's here's fault. Like, our society is built on the conditions of that comfort to where like even like slight inconveniences like a coupon piss people off. That's just a world that's been constructed for America. So nobody even understands what other people are going through. Even if they see it on TV, that's not in their bubble or
We're in a
their
bubble.
life. Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, I can't pin that on people and be like, I hold you guilty for feeling the way you do because you don't appreciate shit. At the end of the day, like they'll never know what you or I have experienced in life. Right. So, because trust me, it can be frustrating because you realize how much comfort we have and how much we have to be grateful for. But maybe some people will never see that, until it is stripped away or whatever, or life forces certain circumstances for them to actually see it, which is possible at any given moment. But I don't know. It's for me, it's like I still find frustration there at times, but at the same time, I'm like, all I know is what I know. Like I can't expect them to see things the way I do, and that's just how it's always going to be. Maybe you'll get to have a conversation with this person, and get them to kind of shift their thought process. And I think through conversations like this with all different kinds of people, you start to really like hit them. That's why this is big on connection, because some people up here like can never relate to anything of your story. Your experience is your own, but they can hear something and they can connect with certain pieces of it. And then that brings y'all closer, and then they're like able to be. Does this make sense?
Yeah, like I won't get into too much politics with you because I don't know how you're about politics.
I don't like any politics, but
yeah,
I mean,
but like I'm not going to, when I was serving, this is why it's so important who is leading your country. When I was serving, the what do you call that shit? When they fire at you,
friendly fire.
No, there was a rule for it, like a rules of engagement.
Rules of engagement.
Yeah. We had to wait 1 minute of fire before we returned fire.
That's a long time.
I think we listened to that shit. No. Lieutenant was calling in like, "Hey, good.
Do what you gotta do." Yeah, man. Because like that 1 minute can change everything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They can have all your guys dead.
I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
Why is this a thing?
Yeah. No, I don't know. It's
and no one ever talks about it.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, is someone standing up there with a timer? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, y'all got to do what you got to do. There's not someone in like a drone just like, oh God, they went at 59 seconds. They're done. Yeah, it is pretty interesting, man. And so to bring it back to the head, obviously the military impacted you. It seems to have impacted you in a multitude of ways.
Man, it's crazy.
Positive, but also there's been some loss. There's been some hard stuff.
I remember driving through a little city. This is a couple experiences I had. It was really heartbreaking. I don't remember what city it was, but we get stones thrown at us. Like people would take, like full-grown men, full-grown women, they would take sheets from their bed and like big ass sheets, and they put like 5-10 pound stones in there, and they will that shit at us.
Yeah,
kids would throw rocks at us.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's funny. In my mind, I was like, when y'all getting fucked up, who do y'all want? We'll be here helping you, but y'all throwing us at. I know you don't want us here. You probably don't like us here.
Yeah,
but we're helping you. We are helping you.
Exactly. And at least you're trying to, man.
They don't understand.
But they don't understand. At the end of the day,
that was heartbreaking for me. And I remember one time we were in the middle of nowhere, man, and like these 3 little kids. We threw some candy at them or some food, and like there's 2 little boys and a girl, and the boy started beating the shit out of this girl.
Yeah,
and they had to be between 6 and 8 years old, so real little. So that really broke my heart.
Yeah.
And so we got out and sat around her and let her eat her food, but there's little things like that. It's really broke your heart.
It's tough, man, because I think one thing I've learned, just in life. You know, hearing you, I think you could be doing like your intentions or whatever it is. Like say you are doing, you know, in your heart, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, someone's always going to paint you as the enemy. You could be doing the best in the world at whatever it is. And there's going to be someone out there that's like, you're the bad guy. And at the end of the day, you probably never will figure out like why they think that. But at the end of the day, it's like, that's kind of, it's hard because you see those things and you're, you know, there's so much going on. It's chaotic, right? To me, it's like maintain that, like stay on the righteous path no matter what, no matter who's pointing the finger or flipping you off. And it's hard to do, man. Sometimes it's like, fuck, what's the point? But then those things are going to try to throw you off of that. Just to maintain that always, man. That's just like that's the journey, right?
Like my first, I'll be, you know, I know we got a little window here. My first IED I hit was in, it was going, I don't remember where I was at in Afghanistan, but I don't think it was like 100-pounder. So it didn't completely decimate us, but it was not that bad. You know, it did bust my eardrum. Like it made it bleed. I remember that. Like, so I'm completely almost deaf in my right ear right now. My second one, you know, that was bad. That was the bad one right there, man. It, I know it cut my gunner's throat, and then I had an 18-year-old kid named Bear. He was new, and he was in the passenger seat, and he never seen anything.
Yeah,
when it's in action, so it was really weird seeing someone see it the first time.
Yeah,
and something be in that kind of scenario. Yeah, no one, and they never say what they're going to do. Like I've seen some of the most badass guys, you know, not know how to handle the situation. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you can only prepare so much.
That's it, man. Just gotta stay calm in your mind, you know. And then my driver had blast belly. You know what that is? And that's where your guts are pushing their way out of your stomach. From the blast radius. Like it was so big that it sent an 800-pound tire a mile in the air.
Yeah.
It's insane. And then I don't know how I have my limbs still. I was I don't know.
Yeah, because you got the Purple Heart.
Yeah, I got 2 of them. I should have died should have died our first one.
Really?
Definitely should have died my second one. I don't know how I'm alive. I'm alive though, you know, and those like, you know, things like in your life that happen like that, you know, it definitely makes you think differently after, if you get through it. I was fucked up so bad in my second one, man. I couldn't talk for weeks, couldn't speak. I was diagnosed with a really, really severe TBI. I've had multiple TBIs being, you know, from bombs. I don't know how I'm still talking. That's why I talk so fast now. I don't talk good, 100%, because I've been blown up so many times, I guess.
Yeah.
I got hit so many times. They kept me in my truck. They broke my truck up first. They thought we were bad luck. You know, that really fucked me up too. When they did that, I went off on my uppers, and I almost got kicked out of the military. I could have gotten in real trouble for that. But you know, when you're going through a lot of shit, Joe, and that's your boys, you know, well, how the fuck would you do that? I don't know. I hadn't talked about that at all, man. And I've never talked about that with anyone. It really hurt me, man. They wanted to break us up because we've been hitting too many, but I'm like, that's our fucking job, like, you know,
dude.
And then after that one, we hit another one, and then you know, then they wanted to. I couldn't leave the wire anymore.
Yeah.
If I hit, it got to the point where if I hit another one, or anybody in my truck hit another one, I could have been a vegetable.
Yeah.
So, you know, I got out after that.
You know, it's hard, man, because I can't understand. I can be understanding and hear you and listen.
And it hurt me, Joe, when I got out of the military. You know, I felt like I was starting over again. Like, you know, I was proud to being a sergeant. I was proud of doing what I was doing. You know, I've actually had my officer packet filled out. I was 100% ready to turn my officer packet in, and I was ready to go through boot camp again. I had to go through boot camp again to be an officer there in the Marine Corps. And the reason I didn't do it is because my wife at the time, in that whole situation there, this unmotivated me from being an officer.
Yeah.
And that's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to be an officer. I was going to be a Mustang. And I mean, I'd have 2 generals sign. I'd had a state representative sign. Like I had all the credentials done to get this 100-page packet filled out.
Yeah.
And everything was good to go. And then, you know, obviously that divorce really messed me up too, on top of what I was going through. And
you've been through a lot of shit.
Yeah. And then, yeah, man. And then I get here and it's like, fuck, I'm starting over again, man. What the fuck? Like, it really messed me up. That messed me up. This transitioning messed me up. Because they don't prepare you. They give you like one day of class. That's it.
No, yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I remember that.
you know, I'm a freaking vegetable, you know, I couldn't get out. They didn't even, you know, they haven't even told me how to do my disability when I get out.
Yeah, it's like you just drive off base and you're like, this is it.
Yeah,
It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
it is. So after I got out, I went to Vol State, and then you know, I went there to get my feet wet, and obviously I didn't know. Obviously, you know, I didn't have any idea. I knew the GI Bill was paying for my Vol State. I was like, that's cool, like awesome, thank you, taxpayers, like thank you so much, love you. Yeah, really. And then I was dating this girl at the time, and her brother was in the Army, and he just got out, and he's like, Adam, you know, you can go to Belmont. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. I was like, that's like a $300,000 school. I was like, I can't afford that. I was like, the reason I went to the military is because my mom and dad couldn't afford me to go to school. So, you know, I was pay for my way. So I went up there, talked to the VA representative up there, and she was like, yeah, you can come. They weighed my GPA, and I was like, well, how's my GI Bill paying for this? She's like, it's not paying for it all. She's like, there's a bunch of successful veterans that went to Belmont, and every year they put a lot of money into this fund called the Yellow Ribbon Program, and they pay for the difference of what the GI Bill is.
That's a Yellow Ribbon school. Yeah.
And I was like, what? So I was like, they're letting me in. So they let me in. I was like, oh my gosh. So I went there and got my degree, and I learned it was different aspect going there for me, because one, I was like 25, everybody else was like 18, 20 there.
You said you're not smart.
I'm not, bro. D's equal degrees, brother.
You gave it a shit,
D's
though.
equal degrees.
You gave more of a shit than when you were younger, though, at this age.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I did. I was like, well, I'm not just gonna waste this opportunity if it's there in my face. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
So it was weird though. I remember one time, I was a bunch of rich kids go there, man. Bunch of rich kids go. I was way out of place. I remember one time I had a Corvette Z06. I financed it, and you know, used my military money to buy it.
Yeah.
And this kid in the parking garage, third level down, you know, one day he's like 17 years old, pulls up in a brand new GTR. I'm like, what in the world? Next day he pulls up in the brand new Z06, brand new one. I had a used one. And then the next day he pulls up in this Jeep Grand Cherokee, and it's like chopping, man. Like, blah, blah. I'm like, what? I was like, okay. I was like, hey, bro. I finally saw him at the parking garage. I was like, what do you do, man? I have to ask. I was like, you just pulled in the brand new GTR. You just pulled up in a brand new Z06. Now you're driving this crazy Trackhawk.
Yeah, stop flexing so hard.
He's like, yeah, it's 1,000 horsepower Trackhawk. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, my dad owns 4 funeral homes. I'm like, oh. And I was like, but that's the kind of what I was surrounded with, man. And so, you know, it was weird because I like worked for everything I got. But you definitely see the difference in people who are raised with privilege and then people who are not raised privileged. You know, I mean, I'm not saying I wasn't raised with privilege. I'm just saying you see, it definitely gave me an eye opener. And then I got out of college and I started working at Mannheim. I'm sorry, Austin Miller Roofing. And then that's where I met Kevin Mosley.
Yeah.
You know, he turned that business from a $6 million company to a $4 million company in 6 years.
Nice.
I remember, and he hired me the first time. I had to do drug test for him, you know, and I failed for THC. And Roger, the owner, calls me, and the whole reason I got the job was because I owned a detailing business before this while I was going to school, and I sold it before I got out of school. And I sold it for a good bit of money, and you know, not a lot, but it was enough to keep me survived, you know.
Yeah.
And he pulled up in a $300,000 Mercedes, like, and I'm like working on my dad's garage. I'm like, what? Like, you bring a car here?
Yeah.
You know, because I didn't expect it, but I don't know. He heard about me. I don't even remember. You know, I think it was through Dwayne Hampton.
Nice.
And so I'm like, okay, this guy. So anyways, he's like, hey, I'm gonna go to the country, Adam. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Have my car washed. I'll pay you then. I was like, yes, sir. So he gets back. I get him his car. He pays me in cash. He's like, you want a job, Adam? I was like, no, sir. I was like, I'm, you know, just sold my company. And I was like, I'm trying to graduate and do something in my life. He's like, all right. So he calls me 2 weeks again later. And he said, Adam, I'm legit. He's like, look me up. And so I did some research on him. This man's got, you know, 2 multi-million $1 homes in Florida, $3 million homes here in Lebanon, Gallatin.
And you're sitting there thinking like, dude, I've been like giving this guy the stiff arm the whole time.
Yeah. And then so I was like, okay, yes, sir. So I finally took his offer, and that's when, you know, he's like, here's my main guy, Kevin Mosley, and that man right there changed my life, Joe.
Yeah.
Kevin Mosley changed my life. He's like another father to me. I love him so much. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be where I am at today.
Nice.
He's one of the reasons. You know, I'll get with him later, but you can talk to him later. But you know, again, he didn't graduate high school.
Yeah.
It really hard. His dad was alcoholic. You know. But I remember he trained me everything I know about roofing. And I remember him talking to me one day, and he's like, Adam, I'm making like $50,000 a month. I'm like, what? I'm like, how? He's like, he averaged about 800,000 a year right now. This was when he was selling roofs.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I'm like, you have no degree.
Yeah.
You didn't graduate high school, and you're making almost $1 million a year. How? You know, so I've learned a lot from him, and I've applied everything he's taught me, and it's working.
Dude, it's the application of those lessons, man. It's like
Copy genius.
It's like we talked about. It's like that drive part. Like, dude, some of the most successful people, I mean, they don't have that education. I'm back in school just because I enjoyed learning about that.
Yeah.
I think the problem is they're taking young minds and they're molding them how they want rather than like just giving facts.
Yeah.
And just telling them to learn things through experience. And I think the most important teacher in the world is experience.
Yeah, and you ain't lying.
Yeah.
And failure.
Yeah. And failure. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
100%. Yeah. Anyways, I worked there for a while, and then there's a few things I saw in construction. I worked, several different roofing companies, and I've noticed one thing. There's a lot of shadiness in Nashville for contracting.
Really?
Very, very I'm not gonna mention any names, but very, very just. You'd be surprised, man, on who it is, and it's just crazy to me the amount of dishonesty there is in contracting. I'm not talking about just roofers. I'm talking about from GCs to framers, whatever.
Oh, dude.
All it's nuts. And it's crazy to me that you'll see these multi-million homes go up in Nashville, and they're built like doo-doo, man. And I'm just like, how do they get through codes? It's because of the good old boy system.
I've heard that. I've heard about that. Yeah,
I got a family right now. I'm not gonna say their name. I got a family of 7 in Nashville. Can't say the street either, but they have 7 leaks, and the roof it's a $1.3 million tall and skinny house, and it's been 7 months, and the builder's already ghosted them, and they got mold already growing in there, and they got about $50,000-$70,000 worth of renovations to do to make it bright, and right now they're kind of
there's a lot of corner cutting
everywhere.
It sucks, man.
And so, I remember going back to my early roofing days, Mr. Naam. So he's my business partner, Naam Kakamo. And he came up to me one day. He's like, "Hey, Adam." He's like, "I got all these white boys telling me what to do." He's like, "How come you're not doing that? How come you're not running a company?" I was like, "I'm scared. I'm scared because I'm scared, man." I was like, "That's like rolling the dice, Russian roulette, bro." And he kept asking me, man. Finally, I talked to Jamie. I was dating her at the time. I said, "Hey, I've asked about 3 or 4 times, and finally, I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start this company." I was like, it's a shot in the dark, but I was like, if I want to do something in my life and have the opportunity to possibly be a multi-millionaire one day, I was like, I think this may be my way. And I was like, I want to do it. So she was a dentist, and she was working in the dentistry world for 20 years. So I was.
She was like a full-on dentist, huh?
She
nice.
Yeah, clean teeth, all that stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Nam and his wife gave me a loan. My roofer gave me a loan. I didn't, nobody supported me at the time because it was such a big long shot. I mean, I was starting a roofing company. Like, there's so many freaking roofing companies in Nashville now. I don't know why. It drives me nuts. And that's where your freaking untrustworthiness is coming from. It's a saturation of roofing companies. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And so I saw that. I mean, I was like, I want to be that company to do something different. I want my guys to be treated right. I want my roofers to get treated right. They should get paid more. They're not getting paid. How many white boys you see up there, Joe?
Nah,
you want to see Latinos, bro.
Yeah.
And and I've done it. I mean, I've removed shingles. I put shingles on. I mean, I work with them.
Yeah.
I'm one of the few white owners, one of the few white guys, one of the few owners in Tennessee that actually gets their hands dirty still with their guys. I'm not afraid to pick up trash. I get up there and I'll shingle with them. I'll pass shingles to them. I don't just sit in my fucking truck all day or stay in the office all day. That's not me, man.
Yeah, dude. I wouldn't be like, I can't not be proactive.
Bro, no,
yeah.
Not at all. So, and I want my guys to respect me, so I'm not going to sit there like every other company does and just point fingers. And that's not me, man. I want to earn that respect.
Well, and by doing so, you're able to show them that you give a shit, but also that you set the standard by doing that.
I know 100% what you're saying. And I took the loan from Mr. Nam.
Yeah.
He gave me cash money to get my license, my insurance, workers' comp. That's like $15,000-$20,000 just to get it started. Yeah, you have to have $20,000 just to get started a company in roofing. It's ridiculous,
dude.
You can't just get in a ladder. You have to get your license.
Yeah.
So I took the loan. I got everything we needed, and our first year, man, I probably worked 100+ hours a week, man. I was working Monday through Sunday, Sunday through Monday. Starting 8 in the morning, I'd knock doors, 12 months straight, man. Didn't stop. 100 hours a week more. And got a lot more no's, got lots of no's, man. Lots of fuck yous, lots of, get the fuck out of my yard. Always kept a smile on my face,
Yeah.
always positive.
Yeah.
It's rough, man. I was by myself too.
Yeah.
Sometimes my roofer would go with me and he, and that's how hard we were trying. Like, his English is not even 100%.
Yeah.
But we were out there getting it, man. We were trying,
Dude. Yeah.
and I prayed a lot. I probably pray so much, man. It drive you crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going million insane sometimes. I pray so much.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a lot of me being of where I'm at today is prayer, man. And my first year was rough, man. I remember, power went out sometimes, water went out sometimes, and I was always negative in my bank account. I think I made like 15,000 in my first year.
How was your, you don't mind me asking, like your wife, like how was she, would she like keep going?
She
or?
believed in me.
That's awesome.
She believed in me. She never was negative.
Bro, that is the fucking most crucial part.
Right? Yeah, if it wasn't for that part.
Dude, that's the most important thing.
That's it.
Everybody else could be, the whole world could be like, Joe, you fucking suck, quit. And if my wife's like, keep going, I'm going to be like, damn right. Because the moment they give up, you're like, dude, that would tear you down.
Yeah.
You realize how you are meant to be with somebody, and having the right person in your life is everything. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, dude, I love hearing that because because my wife's in the same way.
Yeah. And so, we got through our first year, man. I'm like, our first year, I think we did almost $1 million in sales. And that's just, not really heard of in a new company.
Yeah.
And statistically, roofing companies start from year 1 to 3 are usually out of business. They don't make it past the third year.
Yeah.
So just the fact I made it past the first year was awesome. And this was during COVID.
Nice.
And the whole reason I started it, other than the good, meaningful reasons, is like helping guys out and better my life, was because I noticed when they closed the whole country down, guess who was working still full time? Construction.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I know if we were getting a bad hardship place like that again, we'll still be working. Mm-hmm. So that's another solid reason I did that. And then got to our second year, man, and doubled them out. And our third year, we tripled them out.
Nice.
Fourth year, when our fourth year, now we're quadrupling them out,
bro.
And but it's not what everybody thinks it is, man. Like, it looks like I'm doing good, but I'm not making that much money. It's just like everything's going to the business.
There's so much cost.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
My roofer's over here making $500,000 a year. I'm over here making like 20. It's crazy.
Dude, if you look on paper what you got coming in, if someone looked at the number, they'd be like, "Oh man, you're great." And then, but the problem is people don't see what goes out.
No, man. And I know when I was little, my dad worked for Tennessee Glass. They're over 100 years old, established here in Nashville. They're in Thompson Lane, and they didn't even market or advertise. They're so old they don't have to.
Yeah.
And I remember Mr. Tom Smith at the time was a big boss. And I was little. I remember sometimes I go to work with my dad, and he'd always be bitching about the government and grumpy and this not a pleasant attitude when it came to taxes. And I always like, man, he was so mean and so harsh about the government and everything. Now I'm starting to understand.
You get it, yeah.
It's awful, bro. Yeah. But yeah, now we're in our 4th, 5th year, man, and it's we're still still growing and still wanting to. We don't want to get too big. We want to stay small if we have the luxury to do that. And I don't, man. Maybe want to tear up a little bit. It's been a journey, bro. I went from nothing to like living in nothing to now I'm able to support myself. Pay my bills without being stressed out. And there was times, Joe, I was in front of a church last year. Drunk as fuck, high as fuck. Went to the church, talked to the preacher. I was like, "Hey, I'm fucked up. I'm high as hell right now. I'm drunk." I probably did like 5th of a bottle of whiskey, Jack Daniels.
That first year?
In one day. And one day it was one bad day. And I was getting stressed out, man. We were getting so much business last year. I think we did 400 roofs last year. And it was just me, my wife, and my pawpaw. That's it. 3 people. And it was, and then then you had people start calling me, and just like so many things thrown at me at once, man. And my wife, and running a business, and I don't think a lot of people see what it takes to run a business, and the amount of dedication and soul and heart and sweat and blood you have to put into it to make it. Like, I'm on my 5th year right now, man. I'm just now being to pay my bills. I've been, I've done a lot of bad things. Like I've been an alcoholic because of it. Severe alcoholic, man. There was one time, man, I've been to church. I can't tell you how many times just fucked up because I was so stressed out because I couldn't handle what was going on.
Yeah.
And I was one of those guys, like, I look happy when you meet me, but and then behind the scenes, I wasn't that same person.
Dude, what the world sees, they just don't. Yeah, dude, it's hard, man. That's been a thing in my life recently, is because people don't see the true weight. Because you can't just pour that all out there to the world, like, oh, I had to sell this just to pay this, or whatever the case. They don't see that, and from the outside, things can look beautiful, man, but they don't know.
No, I've been burnt so many times from friends and employees. Like I'm so good there. I'm so nice that it hurts me sometimes. I'm so good hearted. Like here's one scenario out of many.
Are we the same person, dude? Because you say that shit, I'm like, oh my God. My wife would be like, yep, that's Joe.
Dude, I remember one time we had a supervisor. I was paying him $300 a day, which I didn't think was bad money. $300 a day to work 8 to 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
And that's 5 days a week, $15 a week. And I was like the supervisor of my jobs.
Not bad. That's not bad money.
No, not well. Anyways, long story short, he wasn't doing the job he was supposed to be doing. This guy, I also gave him like $10,000 up front to help him get his wife and the kid down here to move from Texas and get him an apartment because he didn't have credit. Bought everything for him, man. I've been through that scenario. I've had guys I've hired that they tell me up front what they're about, what they do. Then the first day of work, they're like, "Oh, I don't have a vehicle." I'm like, "You told me you had a vehicle." "Oh, I don't have anywhere I can live either. Can I live in your office?" So I've had people live in my office. Imagine coming to work. Imagine coming in your office 6 a.m. and you have some dude laying in your office.
Excuse me.
Because I'm trying to help people.
Yeah, of course.
I'm trying to get on their feet, and I always see the positive in them, and I'm like, well, maybe they can help me in return too and help this business. And it's never worked that way for me. Like, I've been burnt so many times, Joe. It's made me depressed, and it's made me give up on humanity a lot. And that's where I'm at in my life right now, man. Like, I'm happy inside of my soul. I'm good with God. I'm happy with my family, but I've been through so much fucked up shit mentally that I am dead inside.
Dude, how about this? Just as your friend, like, let me help you. Let me talk to you. Let me just, and I'm not trying to like coach anybody. I think, let me just share you my experience and like the revelations I've had recently and like just how I've learned to view things. And I've got a mentor I want to get you connected with because my wife's actually shed light on most things. But, and so while he kind of repeats a lot of stuff she says, he helps me get to the core of it because he's been through a lot of fucking shit. And it's changed my life, dude. And like my mindset has shifted. I'm talking like in the past several months, dude. I'm like so pumped because like I can relate to you a lot of ways. Like obviously there's things you've been through that I will never experience or I've never experienced, but there's also a lot of things, man, like that dark place, dude. Like I get it. And it's like, it's hard because you just, someone told me recently it's hard to be a good man and a great leader because you just want to be a good man, but you want to build something great. How do you fucking do both?
It just gives you an idea how many times I've been just hoodooed over. Whenever you loan money to a friend, you're not getting your money back.
Oh yeah.
Just go ahead, like whoever's listening to this out there, just go ahead and give you some, go ahead and give you a pat on your back. You can go ahead and get this over with so you know what's going to happen. Yeah, when you loan money to your friends, they're not going to pay you back.
Yeah, there are a few friends that may. You get those friends that do give a shit. I think there's also like the beauty in it too. You find the people. Man, you build a core of people, and they may be small, but you build the strongest fucking core in the world, dude.
Oh man, I got several contractors right now that we're ready to pull a lawsuit against because they're not paying me. I'm just trying to fucking maintain my sanity. It feels like, and I have people there for me to keep the business going. But I'm just trying to keep my sanity, man. Dude. And people, I don't get out a lot. And the only thing I do now, I got it set up to where all I do is inspections. Like I got one employee last year, really hurt me. Close friend of me and Will, close friend, was a Marine. And it really hurt me, man. I was probably friends with him 10 years. I actually lived with him for 2 or 3 years and back in 2015 when I was getting out of the military to get back on my feet.
Yeah.
And I loaned him $6,000 last year because his mom and dad are from somewhere in southern Mexico. And they said that, he told me that his parents had a squatter in the house and they needed a lawyer to get the squatter out of the house. So I gave him $6,000, had him sign, had witnesses sign it. And I was just doing this to help him out. I love his parents.
Yeah.
Great people. This is like one of many things happening to me. And he hadn't paid me a dime yet since a year ago. That's my little man right there. Yeah.
Dude, I love it. God.
I found him in the dryer the other night.
Dude, look at this. Lydia just sent me this yesterday, or the day before, Monday. So fucking funny. So funny. In the dryer. Yeah. Yep. It's just so funny.
Well, it is. Yeah, he'll sit there and watch it again. Man.
Dude, they're so funny, man. But dude, I've really enjoyed your time, and I've enjoyed the relationship that's been built. There's so much left we got to cover. You know, real quick, tell me, what is your relentless pursuit?
Honestly, my relentless pursuit would be show light, show goodness in this world, and be able to help people any way I can, man. My relentless pursuit is to get my company to a point to where I can help give 10, 20, 30, 40 roofs a year for people that actually need it, because no one can afford a roof right now. I mean, no one has $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to sit in their account. I mean, even a normal roof costs $12,000, $15,000. There's not a lot of people, you know, when half the country right now, the data right now, and you can look this up, right now, 52% of Americans right now don't have no more than $1,000 in their savings account. So what makes you think they're going to be able to afford a $20,000 roof?
Yeah.
You know, so I usually do 2 to 3 free roofs a year. My first year I started, even though I couldn't afford it, the whole purpose of this company was to show honesty, integrity, and that we were to help people out. And that's what I've been doing. This year I worked with a magical contractor, Gene Jones, and I put a free standing seam metal roof on a individual's house. His wife died. Husband had stage 6 Parkinson's. And it's his kids, and they live in a little mobile trailer. And it was so bad that you had to watch where you step at, because you put a foot through the floor. Black mold everywhere. And so the contractor talked to me and built him a brand new house, man.
You got me fired up. That's a positive thing, man. And I'm so thankful that you decided to come on and share your journey and open up in the ways you have, talk about things you haven't, and share that with me. It means the world, dude. And I'm so stoked to have this relationship, because dude, you're going to do great things. I think maintain that heart you have, because that's what's needed in this world. And when people build success with that, that's how you change the world. People that are at the top need to be holding on to those kind of values. So never lose that, man. I'm proud of you for being here today, dude.
Thank you for having me.
And yeah, I'm grateful as hell. And we'll get this next one. We're probably going to record here in the next couple of weeks if you're down.
Absolutely, bro.
All right, man. Let's make it happen. Hey, it's been an honor.
You too, buddy.
Thanks, Adam.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. So I'm not doing an intro. I'm going to add this. I'm probably going to cut this out. This is going to be added into the last recording I did with Adam.
See?
Because, we recorded a good episode, and we just were catching up today.
That's all.
And we're just kind of closing out that episode, because we ended pretty abruptly, because I had a virtual podcast I was on literally 1 minute after you walked out the door. So I was on that for like an hour and a half. So I went straight from talking to you about you, well, like both kind of just going back and forth, and then talking about me for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I was like, by the end of all of it, I was like, I'm done talking. It's a lot of talking, dude.
It was a lot of talking.
But it's good to have you back for a minute. And you've been here for a couple hours, but
Enjoyed it.
I think we just need to chat, man.
Yeah, it's nice talking to like-minded people.
Yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been good to get to know you, man. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. You know what I'm saying?
It's interesting to hear your story and then what you're doing to pursue your path. And I'm like, it's the same steps I'm doing, just a different trade.
Yeah.
You know, same thing.
It is funny how like it all is so relatable, but it's so different.
Oh man, it's like every day, you're an entrepreneur. You're a self-made entrepreneur, and every day's a rolling dart. You know, you know what kind of day you're gonna have. You have a bad day, slow day, fast day, money day, no money day. You know, I'm gonna have any calls from customers, like calling like, hey, something's wrong. Like, hey.
Yeah, dude. I try to do this thing. Like I try to remember, like when I'm on my way to work, I'm just like, it's gonna be a fucking killer day, dude. I just like amp myself up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know. I just got to get in that mindset. That makes sense.
Yeah. I have to. I mean, I'll turn on some like some Deftones or something like that. Get kind of prepped up. That's my prep up music.
Really?
Yeah.
Because Deftones is kind of somber and just.
They are, but I love them, man. They
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love that, dude. I love that, dude. I used to listen to Deftones.
White Pony's best album.
Great album.
Yeah.
Can't beat that one. Yeah.
No, man.
I love the one song Passenger with the vocalist from Tool. Yeah. That's a good song.
Knife Party is my favorite.
Knife Party's good. Bro, is there anything from the last one that you want to brush up on? We talked a lot about that first segment. We talked a lot about what you do and like kind of leading through school and stuff like that. And then we got into the military. I know we talked about some struggles there for a good while, and then kind of bridging into like building a business struggles. you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But through all this struggle, I want to just emphasize there's some highlights, you know, because you got a beautiful life, man. You do. You got a beautiful family.
Very fortunate.
You know, yeah, exactly. You recognize that. There's a lot to be grateful for too. So I want to, I guess, maybe let you emphasize on some of the points of your life that, like, despite all the struggle, maybe what you've learned from that and what it's highlighted that you are grateful for.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Definitely grateful for having a kid. I'm sure when you have your first kid, not everybody's experienced that, but when you do experience that, such as you,
Nothing better.
oh man, yeah, you know, because like in my eyes, you know, everybody's got their different views, but the first time you hold that kid, you know, in my religion, you know, the kid, you know, if he dies between 0 months and 2 years, like, or 4 years, he's just a kid. He's so pure that he still goes back to heaven.
Oh yeah.
You know, he's so pure. So when I'm holding something, or when you're holding your kid, like, there's nothing that pure on earth right now. Nothing that pure.
Yeah.
And I don't know what age it gets desecrated, or where it's not there, non-existent no more. But that's what I cherish.
You know what I think it is? I told my wife, it's just who receives you, right? Like, I was telling my wife when we were first holding our daughter early on, she was just so little and just like just making noises and stuff. And I was like, you know, babe, it's crazy to think that like everybody in the world at one point was this pure and innocent. Because I truly believe everybody begins their journey that way. Yeah. But people don't love them and nurture them and take care of them. And there's circumstances that they're born into that are unfortunately what brings in that darkness. Because, dude, like, me and my wife love our daughter. We put so much intention into it. And I don't know, man. I'm so intentional that I'm not worried about who she becomes. Like, she's going to make mistakes, sure. Make some bad decisions. Like, you know, but she's going to learn lessons through those. But she's not going to be an evil, dark person because we pour love into her. Does that make sense?
No, yeah.
And a lot of kids just aren't born into that, man. They're not loved from the day one like that. Like, people take them for granted. There's people that don't want them to be their kid, but they're just doing it anyways. That's the truth.
So, like, yeah, and you know, you don't take this out of context, but like, you know, Adam and Eve, you know, you don't have to believe, but this, from my point of view, you know, I'm sure you can relate. Anybody can relate listening, but, and I don't know how you can put it in perspective, but, you know, when Eve ate the apple, and God's like, hey, who ate the apple? You know, and he looked at Adam said, I did not. He's like, well, did you? And he asked Eve. He was like, you know, she confessed finally after she lied the first time, and he goes back to Adam. He's like, hey, why did you? You knew about this, but you lied to me. Why'd you lie to me? Why'd you eat the apple? You know. And
he was like, yo, I was having my girl's back, man.
Yeah, and then like, and if you keep reading about it, it's like she notices like that Adam's naked. You know, they talk about that.
Yeah.
After she ate the apple, she realized that after that purity was gone, going back to purity, she realized that they're naked. Yeah. So I'm like, in my brain, you know, I'm like, this kid is so pure right now. He could walk around naked as it could be, you know, just running around in front of anybody, don't know them, doesn't care.
Yeah. He's not like covering up, like, oh God.
So I think about that stuff, like how deep it is, and you know, how pure is, what is pure and how is pure. You know, so.
I think, I mean, you hit the nail on the head with that. And like, dude, I actually do a lot of Bible study. So because I study religion just a lot in general. So I just like to understand the stories and try to connect dots too. Oh, dude, I'm big on that shit. I love it. It's because there's a lot of connections between all literatures.
And you understand it too?
Oh yeah, man. I just look at it through a different lens.
I have to have people talk to me about it.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dude, I could dive into some stuff pretty intensely. Yeah.
I'm really big, really big into before the Bible.
Oh yeah, like the pre-Christians, like pre-Abrahamic stuff. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's a black book. I forgot what it's called. It's based off of. So I'll be real short, real quick. It's named after an angel. I don't forget the angel's name, but apparently before Christ and all that, before the Bible was written, you know, 200 fallen angels hit the earth. Have you heard that story? Yeah. So you know about that, and the giants that used to live. So the giants were fallen angels, obviously, and you know, that's the reason God washed away, overran the earth with water, and Moses came because of all the sin going on. It was so sinful. Yeah. From the fallen angels, what they were doing, they were procreating with women, creating babies. They were doing scientific. I mean, apparently that's where our technology came from too.
Yeah, I'll have to share with you a bunch of stories about the flood.
I know you're getting from.
Yeah.
It's awesome, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, it's cool. I mean, I think it's important for people to recognize that there is a lot of connectors.
And Will told me about you talking, like you knew about a deep conversation about religion.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's when he first told me about you, and it really intrigued me. I was like, man, this dad does some deep thinking.
I appreciate that, man, because like a lot of, what's funny is I think because of my beliefs, a lot of people think like I've had people invite me to church and be like, just there's the right way, and I'm like, listen, like. Stop it. I'm not lost. I haven't lived dude, I'm from the South. Trust me, I know what it's like. I've been to Baptist churches. I grew up in
the
church.
Bible Belt.
I've been baptized like 4 times. I kept trying. But like, it's not, my heart is not guided by that. It's just not. And it's just, I can't explain it, but that's just that that feeling of that true raw faith. It's not blind.
Intriguing though that other religions isn't to look into them. It's intriguing. It's smart. Like,
I think it's interesting just to be understood and like well-rounded, just to be educated on it. Because say someone does attack it, I'm gonna be like, whoa, actually, this is how my perception. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just at the end of the day, we just need to allow people to believe what they do. As long as you're not harming people, or like as long as it doesn't promote like touching kids or some shit.
Exactly. But going back to Will. Joe, we used to work out with a Satanist about 10 years ago. His name was Josh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this dude was whiter than white. He never to go out in the sun, and his hair like real long, like metal hair, like he had hair down to his waist, and this like dude was huge.
Yeah,
but he was a Satanist, and it was funny because his dad was a preacher, and he was a Satanist. And I'm like, what happened there? And it was pretty much what you told me. When we were talking off the mic, you're like. Or what you said, like he was pushy.
Yeah, people defy with their dude. It's just, you see it in the world all the time. People like, if they push things, there's usually a rebellion towards whatever that is. You get the people that follow it, or the people are like, screw that, you're not gonna push that on me. Whether it's politics or whatever, people don't like things pushed on them. You know what I'm saying? I think you just need to understand things and let your heart guide you to the path that's meant to be. That's my true understanding. And just like with Satanism, I think. Because honestly, modern Satanism is just basically rebellion towards like religion. It's not even that's like in a nutshell like what a lot of them are about. They're just like, dude, we just don't like religion, structured religion, so we want to oppose that. Doesn't make them. I've met Satanists through my life. They weren't bad people.
No,
they're actually pretty awesome people. There's more to people than what they title themselves 100%. To be. You know what I'm saying?
One of the craziest. I'll tell you a quick story. I don't get much time. Well. 2 years ago, I went to a customer's house. I'm not going to say any names, but this was in Tennessee. I pulled up to the house, Joe, and in the front window was a Nazi flag. Completely just like behind, like everybody on the street that was neighbors or driving through there could see it. So.
Bold statement.
Yeah. So.
They didn't care.
But the guy was cool as hell. Like just super cool, super chill.
Yeah, he just liked the symbol. He didn't even know what it was.
I didn't even talk about it with him. I was like, what was, I mean,
interesting flag. He's like, yeah, I found it at
like I was like, did people not like call a cop? Like, I
found it at like a vintage shop. It was just, it looked neat. He has like no idea what they even are.
When I used to work at Manheim Auctions back in the day, we had a guy there. He worked part-time as a auctioneer. And then his other job was he was a historian, and he would collect World War II things and then sell them and auction them off.
A lot of that stuff is harder to find, so there's like a higher value on it too because it's rare.
Yeah, I don't know what it's about World War II stuff, but I'm super intrigued with it.
World War II, like memorabilia in general, is just always just like super intriguing, and the history behind it. Like I love looking into it as well.
Have you been to the site in Hawaii where the submarines got sank in the ships?
I've never been to Hawaii.
So I went there a couple years ago. My wife and I did, and we went there at the memorial.
Yeah.
And when you're sitting above that submarine that still has people in there, it's really crazy feeling.
Yeah, the Pearl Harbor Memorial.
And there's still oil actively leaking from some of these ships.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I almost said Pearl Jam Memorial. I don't know why. It's like not the same thing. But dude, obviously you got to roll. You do got to get roll out of here. I just wanted to close this out and just, thanks for highlighting that stuff. I think it's so funny because I asked you like your highlights and we start talking about like World War II memorabilia.
ADD.
Hey, dude. Hey, it works. It works, man. It all goes together, man. I think that's just like what I've understood through our conversation in general, even off camera. It's just like, but then there's such a cool mutual respect, man. And I'm grateful for now this friendship that we have.
Absolutely.
So, dude, I just appreciate you taking the time, one, to come share your story, or at least a large portion of it, but also just coming in today really just to talk, and then just, throw this at the end of this past recording, of which will be out Sunday. I don't know why I say that, because it's going to be out.
No, I feel like I'm sure I'm not the only one. Do you ever have that happen? Like, people come in sometimes and talk to you before you do anything? Just sit there and talk for a while.
No, I typically try to do that with guests beforehand, just to build a relationship
100%.
to play off of, right? So that way, maybe they've never recorded before and they feel really uncomfortable. Well, if we talk for 30 minutes, an hour, and we get to know each other, it makes, when I turn the cameras on, a lot more just like natural. Does that make sense?
Makes 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like they don't feel like they're going to an interview. We're just like continuing our conversation basically, but with cameras recording.
It worked for me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and it's been great. So I just appreciate the opportunity, man. I'm excited to watch you grow. I'm excited to watch your family grow, and just all the things, man. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch you grow, and I'm excited to do business with you later this year. And gonna get that rocking and rolling. So, I'm having Joe here market for my company. So
yeah.
So any contractors out there, look at my company up, Under Sun Roofing. We're a big roofing company, and I've been there, done that. So if you need someone to help you market, this is the man to do it. And I can't wait to use him this year and see where it goes.
Thanks, man. Hey, dude, it's been an honor. I appreciate you, brother. All right, y'all take care.